You are watching News 5 now, and of course we are going to be talking about Hurricane Milton, the effects already being felt across the state of Florida ahead of landfall. How many tornado warnings have been reported so far today, and what some in the storm's path are doing to keep their livestock out of harm's way. Plus, a Mobile County corrections officer arrested. Find out why.
This is News 5 Now, streaming live to your neighborhood and around the world.
Welcome into News 5 Now. I'm Cherish Lombard. Thank you so much for joining us. We do this every weekday live at 5:30. Want to get you in on the conversation. We go over the 5 big stories of the day. We also have a Facebook poll and a question of the day we ask you to weigh in on, and then we share some of your comments. So let's start now with the big stories of the day. And as always, we are going to begin with number 5. Again, Hurricane Milton. At least 53 tornado warnings issued so far in Florida today ahead of Hurricane Milton making landfall, and more are anticipated. Several tornado sightings have been reported, and a massive tornado was spotted near Alligator Alley in Broward County, moving across I-75. Hurricane Milton is expected to make landfall in just a few hours along Florida's west coast as a powerful Category 3 hurricane. Number 4. Walt Disney World, Universal Orlando, and SeaWorld are closed due to Hurricane Milton. And today on the 4 on 5, we were trying to think how many times Disney World has been closed. We're thinking only a handful. Well, did a little research and found out that it's about a week until Walt Disney World's 53rd anniversary. And since opening in 1971, it has only closed 10 times. Weather-related, pandemic, 9/11. Orlando International Airport, the nation's 7th busiest airport, is also closed. Number 3, some people in Hurricane Milton's path are taking advantage of the safe space for them and their animals at the Escambia County Equestrian Center. The center is accepting horses and small livestock evacuees. Last check, total of 7 horses and a donkey were taking refuge there. Members of the Florida Equine Disaster Response Team are making sure the evacuees, including the animals, are getting everything they need. They're checking in with everybody, and they say they're ready to supply them with things like horse feed, hay, non-perishables for the humans, also hygiene products. The Equestrian Center is accepting evacuees on a first-come, first-served basis. And now on to number 2. First responders in Gulf Shores say dozens of false emergency calls are made every month, and they're delaying response time to real emergencies. Since January of this year, the Gulf Shores firefighters have been called out for more than 300 false fire alarms and around 120 elevator entrapments. They say that's more than ever. They also tell us they've received 13 calls in the past 2 months to the same address for elevator entrapments that actually weren't. That's why city leaders want to fine the owners of the addresses they're called to when there's no real emergency. Offenders would get 3 warnings before a fine of $500. After that, each time they get one of those fake calls, $1,000 fine. The city council is set to vote on the proposal during their next meeting on Monday. And finally, big story number 1, a corrections officer at Mobile Metro Jail behind bars accused of smuggling drugs into the facility. This is 28-year-old Stephanie Carson of Mobile. She's charged with 4 counts of promoting prison contraband and 1 count of distribution of a controlled substance. She was booked into jail Friday. Also, we're told, no longer has a job there. She had been a corrections officer there since October of 2022. So those are your 5 big stories. And now to the question of the day. Again, we post these every day on the WKRG Facebook page. And today's question is, who is your favorite coach? Name one who inspired you. And here's what you're saying. Let's go over to our Facebook page. Coach Tony Scarborough is a legend. And Shelly, that's from Andrew, and Shelly says the exact same thing. Nikki says the same thing. Eric saying, Hayden Fox, when I attended Minnesota State, he inspired his team to be greater than the sum of its parts. Go Screaming Eagles. Rachel echoing Nikki and Shelly and Andrew. Regina, same thing. Wow, look at that. Sandra says, so many great coaches have impacted my kids and family members, and goes on to list Eric Collier, Brent Easton, Kevin Jackson, Jeremy McGruff, Jacob Whitehead, Dustin Higgins, and giving a thank you to all of those coaches. Another one for Tony Scarborough says, Sherry says the greatest of all time, or GOAT. Joyce saying the same thing. Courtney saying the same thing. Tanya, wow, this is incredible. And I thought about this today. Mine goes back to Coach Macy McKay when I went to St. Luke. She was the archery coach. I stayed in touch with her. I'm still in touch with her. And we did animal rescue together. And she was not only my archery coach, she was the PE teacher and just retired after 50 years a couple of years ago. So, yeah, it's neat to see the inspiration these coaches make in the lives of our families and how they stay with us. So thank you all for your answers. And now to our Facebook poll. Let's put that up there. Do you think TikTok harms children's mental health? So you can see here, 68% say yes, 32% voted no. So that's what we have for our poll of the day, question of the day. Again, we do this every day, and you can go to the WKRG Facebook page if you're watching on WKRG.com. And if you're watching on Facebook already, stay right there and you can answer our poll for tomorrow. Also, our question of the day. Question: what do you think is a suitable punishment for animal cruelty? Let's see if I can put that up there for you. So we had a story today out of Lee County where a man stabbed his dog 22 times. Unbelievable. Don't even get me started on animal cruelty. I'm a big animal advocate. Thankfully, the dog survived and we're told is going to be okay, but it's so sad to hear stories like this every day. So you probably don't want to hear my answer. What do you think is a suitable punishment? If you're an animal lover, you're probably thinking the same thing I am. But again, that is our question of the day for tomorrow. What do you think is a suitable punishment for animal cruelty? Also, you can go to our Facebook poll and vote. Do you believe in the Waffle House Index? If you don't know what that is, Waffle House Index, the way some people measure the severity of a storm, kind of like we were talking about. Disney World only closed a handful of times. This is the 11th time Disney World has closed since it opened. About to celebrate 53rd anniversary this month. If Waffle House closes, more people are likely to evacuate, take precautions, whereas if Waffle House is open, some people may not evacuate or take those precautions ahead of a storm. We want to know, what do you think about that, the Waffle House Index? Do you believe in it? So there you go. Thank you all so much for voting in our poll today, answering our question of the day. Again, hope you will do that again tomorrow, and we'll see you right back here for News 5 Now live at 5:30. And join us in about 10 minutes for WKRG News 5 at 6, ahead of WKRG News 5 at 6:30. Also, 9 o'clock newscast and 10 o'clock newscast. Thanks so much for being here with us. Bye, everybody.